All right. Welcome to Comic Book Wednesdays, everybody. This is a weekly series where we talk about comic books. We're your hosts. I'm Ian.
I'm Al.
And I'm Shane.
And if you're enjoying our content, please remember to interact, comment, subscribe, like, whatever, ring some stupid bell. I don't care. Just make us feel important.
Let us know you're alive.
Yes. So this week we are continuing with our Jonathan Hickman books as we read Avengers 40, New Avengers 29, and Avengers 41. And we are slowly making our way to Secret Wars. Just 2 more weeks after this, and then we'll start Secret Wars. So, feeling quite accomplished, if I do say so myself. I really like these books. These specific issues, I feel like we're getting somewhere. Heroes are becoming heroes again, and Cap is still a douche. But what can you do, how are you guys feeling?
I'll go ahead and go.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think Cap is definitely kind of acting like a dickhead.
Yeah.
And there's no nice way to put that. He's just, as we've talked about in previous episodes, he's kind of letting everything just get the better of him, and it is kind of sad in a way, but he's definitely pushing everybody away just to meet this one goal.
Right. He doesn't care who he hurts, who gets in his way, and it feels like it was initially a vendetta on Tony, but we haven't seen Tony even now, which I find strange because
kind of moved on towards Reed now. He's kind of just Tony's not around, I'm gonna pick on the next person. I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah, no, definitely, and there was even a bit where it showed in one of the covers. I will get to the issue when we get to it, but it showed what I thought was Tony, and so I thought Tony was going to be in the issue.
That cover you're referring to, the all white one, right?
Yeah,
that's the Beyonder. That's the initial Beyonder from the 70s or 80s. I forget exactly when. So now that we have a race of alien Beyonders, I don't know how he quite fits into it, but I guess we'll find out. Okay. If they bring him up. I don't even know if Hickman uses that specific character. At least I thought it was the Beyonder. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it wasn't the Beyonder. Now I'm doubting myself. Yay!
Secret Agent Alien Tony.
Yeah, right. But they do go to his cell in one of those issues, and the cell's blown open because now the Cabal's gone, right? Because those who are reading along, I don't think anyone's reading along, but if you are, the Cabal get trapped on a planet by our heroes, and then Wakanda is kind of taken back by the Illuminati Avengers group. That is the one solid thing. But I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm so sorry. I'm ranting.
Oh, it's all good.
So yeah, Cap being a dickhead. He kind of gets everybody to agree to turn themselves in. Even Namor. Namor's oh, I'm gonna I gotta pay for what I've done, which is I think big for his character.
Yeah.
And it's kind of ironic that the only character that's nah, I'm not going to turn myself in is T'Challa. I don't know if you feel the same way as me, having Namor be no, I'll turn myself in after how he's been this whole time, and then T'Challa's no, I'm not taking responsibility for my actions. Fuck this.
He's I'm good. You guys figure it out.
I feel that's... I don't really blame T'Challa, though, because, if you think about it, he has lost so much in this entire thing, and it initially was a goal for him to protect Wakanda, protect his people, what they asked him to do.
Right.
what his father asked him to do, and like you have that whole scene in the comic where it's like, here's this blade, it was given to me, now it's yours. The symbolism of the divine right to rule. And then he gives it to Shuri when Shuri becomes queen because he's no longer fit.
Right.
And that shows him giving up his right to rule. But then she gives it back to him, changing the symbolism of rule to revenge. Which I'm really glad that they included those panels because it really just emphasized his whole like, yeah, no, I don't give a shit, fuck you guys.
Right. And then he uses that same blade for said revenge. So that's it's good to pick up on there because I honestly I didn't even think about it in that light. It's another reason I love doing this is that I'm getting a whole new perspective on the book. Are you guys still there?
No, we're still here. I was just listening. I didn't want to interrupt.
You're good.
No, I agree. It was very interesting just because, with the first issue, let me go ahead and pull up one of my notes here.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, I was really impressed that Cap did not immediately go AWOL with Captain Marvel. Like he was like, okay, lower the, he's asking Sue to lower everything, and he's just like, okay, we will, but you got to hear us out. I expected him to be like, yeah, sure, and then as soon as the shield was dropped, to immediately just start going AWOL.
Right. Give the order to attack and.
Yeah, I was surprised that he was actually willing to listen even after everything that's happened because I honestly thought he was too far gone.
I agree with you on that. The way he's been acting in these past couple issues, I would think that he would have just straight up gave his word and then backed off on it.
I think he still has his morals. I just think he's sick of everybody's shit, and I don't think it's really I don't want to say it's unfair to think that Cap's not still Cap, but
True.
I think he's at a point where he's given all he can, and he just wants everybody to cooperate, and he's not getting anything back, and it's frustrating.
I get where you're coming from with that, but my whole point of reference and my point of thinking was Cap already broke the Geneva Conventions basically in the comics we were reading. He basically said oh, I'm gonna surrender, and then he sends Thor as a liaison to the other army, and he then has Thor attack under the false pretense of surrender, which is a big no-no,
Yeah, you can't do that.
No, so that's where my point of reference was at. You know what I mean? But
no,
I get what
sense.
you're saying. Speaking of betrayal, and I don't even know if you could call it betrayal. Okay, yeah, no. Speaking of betrayal, I'm going about this a different way. So, Namor tricks the Cabal. He essentially, for his penance, he is going to trick the Cabal onto a planet, and they found out that it's going to be a mapmaker planet, so it's going to be a dead planet. So they'll have no problem destroying it. Yay, good guys, convenience. Woo! And he basically tricks the Cabal and then goes to leave them, and the Avengers or whoever, I guess it is Avenger Tech because it's AIM Tech, and the Avengers own AIM. The Avengers have this shield generator that can protect a world from an incursion, but not really. It's just enough to stop the Cabal from getting back. So trapped on the planet, Namor is going to come before they bring up the shield. But Al, you want to tell us what happens when Namor tries to come back? I know you there.
Sorry, I was not paying attention. What were you saying, Keith? I apologize.
Whatchamacallit? Namor is coming back,
Oh yeah, and Black Panther just gets all fucking stabby on him.
Yeah, he stabs him right in the chest. Um, and it calls back to Shuri's line where she tells him to put the knife where it belongs,
Mm-hmm.
Which is
which,
also where his father pretty much told him too.
yeah, kill him. Well, we knew this was a long time coming. Like, we knew
Oh yeah.
T'Challa was going to want to kill Namor after all the things he's done to him. Um, it was a long time coming.
But it doesn't
What?
kill Namor either, so it'll be
No,
interesting to see what happens after that.
yes, because we find out later that the Cabal do escape the planet because it's a double incursion, which kind of blew my mind. I didn't know that was possible, but
No, that kind of surprised me too. What? Also, Black Bolt being there?
Which was fucking cool. He was just like, farewell, bitch.
what did Black Bolt say to Namor, Shane? You said you wrote it down?
Yeah, no, I ended up looking it up because I tried to zoom in because it was in such small print that I couldn't read it. And he said, "When you see my brother Maximus, tell him I said farewell."
Oh, and the farewell is the loud part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which like kind of makes me think like, okay, are him and Maximus like not
Well,
getting along right now, or what's kind of
I
going
feel
on?
like
Well, I mean, you kind
Max.
of got full on Maximus in that comic. I
Yeah,
feel like.
I feel like he might love his brother, but he realizes he's a dick.
Took him that long to
That's
figure it out, huh?
Right? It's like, geez, come on, Black Bolt. Couldn't be many more black and white. Um, what else? How about that second issue? Again, we kind of glazed over that second issue, or are we not really done with the first one yet? What do you think?
I could move on to number 2.
Yeah, I think we talked through that pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Number 2, the first note that I have is I really enjoyed the imagery of like Reed and T'Challa standing there with all these graves, and Reed. It just shows. First, it shows his perspective of it just being like a graveyard, but with T'Challa, he can see all of the like ancestors and all of the like Wakandans, which I thought was really cool art.
it was really neat. I like that a lot, and whether he can physically see them or it's just in his head, it shows you the burden of what being king of Wakanda is in a situation like this. Because he really, has lost everything: his nation, his family, um, everything. He's losing his planet. No matter what he can do, he can't just, he can't save anything. At least he thought he got his revenge, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna be pissed when he finds out.
Oh God, yes, he's gonna be pissed. I'd love to see like how that plays out and if it's going to have any major implications in Secret Wars itself.
I automatically I think so because you had Namor, who we already kind of touched on this, where he was willing to just essentially turn himself in, which I thought was surprising in character growth. But then T'Challa with his revenge, I feel like all that character growth is just going to get thrown out the window.
I don't
Not
even
in
know
a
if
bad
he's.
way, but just like a makes sense kind of way.
I don't know if he's necessarily had the growth yet. I feel like he was still on his downward spiral, climaxing with the stabbing of Namor.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Like, you got to hit rock bottom, and I feel like he's going to realize, even though he got revenge, he's not going to feel any better about it. And maybe that's what he's reflecting here at this at the graveyard. Seeing all the dead people, he still has all this loss, but even though he has his revenge, doesn't make a difference.
Didn't change anything. Doesn't
Yeah.
bring anybody back.
Right. As cliche as that is, that's kind of what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, What else major thing happened in that second issue, other than the Yellow Jacket thing happening at the end? Was there anything else of note?
Which I didn't even know Hank was Yellow Jacket at that point, or even still around.
Well, they mentioned him in like passing in like the first or second issue after the 8-month time gap. They were going over the Illuminati members. Like Sue was interrogating Chow or something like that, and she was like Tony, Hank, Henry, and like it was like very very fast. It was like on a computer screen, or like she mentioned him. She's like, "Where's my husband?" It was at that scene, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We also had Doom in this issue building something kind of crazy looking.
Right. Molecule Man's like, I can show you who's responsible for all this, but I need you to build the door or something like that. And then Doom goes all magic-y techno on them.
Techno blabble, yeah. It was very
Yeah.
mysterious.
I don't think we got any type of like foresight into what they were doing. It kind of was just like, stay tuned type thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well,
That
Doom
is
builds a giant thingy.
quickly becoming the part I'm like most interested in. Just because I want to see where Doom goes. Because like, I feel like Doom is one of the most complex but interesting characters. Like I could just read Doom books all the time and be happy. Just me personally.
I've learned a lot about his character.
You guys were both talking at the same time. Sorry.
No, Al, go ahead.
I was just commenting on the fact that he is a very interesting and like in-depth character. Like he's not. You don't get a lot of him, and he's just like very cryptic and secretive, and he's a pretty cool character.
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree. What were you saying, Shane?
I've learned a lot about him just in these brief issues, because like previously I never really knew much about Doom or the Fantastic Four aside from like kind of movie knowledge, which is not a lot.
No. Well,
But he's surprising me.
he is probably one of the best Marvel characters out there. So he hasn't been done any justice as far as like movies are concerned. So I'm hoping in the next couple years we get some good screen time with Doom. I think he could be
Wolf. Right.
Oh, I'm worried about it too. I mean, so far Kang the Conqueror has been great. So if they get a good actor for him also, then I don't think we'll have a problem. But
I did like the actor who played Doom. Not that they would reuse this. This is just my personal opinion. I did like the actor that they used to play Doom in the like original Fox Fantastic Four movies. I feel like he kind of fit the vibe from at least from what I understand of Doom to be. And then I'm not going to talk about Fan Four Stick because that was just trash.
Yeah, it was bad. But I forget the actor who played him. I can't really put. I haven't seen.
I can see his face. I just can't remember the dude's name.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch that again. It's on Disney Plus. I don't mind the actors in that movie. It was kind of hokey, but like there was a lot of hokey comic book movies in that time period, you know?
Yeah.
Especially on Marvel's side.
I feel like it was when it was just starting to come into something of its own.
Right. But yeah, no, I'm enjoying what we're getting, and then we have the Beyonders showing up at the end. Like Hank Pym traveled through the multiverse and found the Beyonders, and like the Beyonders, I think before this point weren't an alien race from the multiverse. The Beyonder was one dude. So to have them be a multiple entities is fascinating. It's not something we see all the time.
Can you talk a little bit more about them?
The Beyonders, as far as like alien, like the alien ones go.
Just in general, what they used to be before, if you happen to know anything about it. I'm curious.
So like the original Secret Wars had all the Marvel heroes, villains that were going to be in that book pulled to the battle world by this omnipresent being called the Beyonder.
Hmm.
Um, After that event, things could continue, and like he really was this omnipresent being, and like I think like Doom managed to like fuck with his powers a bit, and he used like the Molecule Man to his advantage, and like I'm talking really vaguely because I haven't read this book in forever, and I'm probably getting some
Hmm.
things wrong, but like he really wasn't anything but like this almost like god-like being, you know,
Hmm.
that you just kind of saw light and voice. Um, in Secret Wars 2, this being wanted to figure out what it was like to be human, having been inspired by these uh, humans that he brought to his battle world. So he comes to Earth, New York, and like gives himself this like human body as he slowly starts to feel things and fall in love
Oh,
and
interesting.
yeah, and it's as far as like comic books go, it's not all that exciting to read, but there are some like thought-provoking things that happen, you know, because as any book you're exploring like a DD like creature becoming human, there are some really think tank things that you can get into, a lot of thinking, you know.
Hmm.
And like so there was a lot of that. So he was like a this like being that becomes human, and but I think eventually he like goes back to being like godlike. I don't know. It's a lot. Maybe we could read Secret Wars, the original Secret Wars 1 and 2 one day. Um, I don't know how much we would enjoy it because there's you think this is tough with a lot of background stuff. We're talking about like comics from the 70s that like I don't know.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. But the Beyonders is this weird like multiverse alien race. I think this is a Hickman creation. Like they weren't this before that. So now that we're seeing them, we're gonna learn all we know about them in this comic book. Like
Hmm.
so you're not gonna have the issue of like I don't know who these guys are. You know what I mean?
Okay, kind of like they're going to reset the story. It's not necessarily like previous knowledge because it's going to explain itself.
Exactly. Hickman's doing it differently here. So to
In a
not
way,
know
that's
who
nice because I feel like I'm missing some context, which, you know, that's good.
yeah, for long-term comic book fans, when they saw that and the name, like people thought the Beyonder was going to have a part in it just because he had a part in all the other Secret War books.
Hmm.
But they saw that and they're like, "Oh, the Beyonder does have a part in this, but he's not the Beyonder; it's the Beyonders." So, like, how does that change things? And that's where we go from there.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it'll make more sense as we continue. I think that the new Avengers book we'll get more answers. We'll have less questions as we read. Hopefully next
Hmm.
week. Well, we only have 2 weeks left before Secret Wars, so we'll definitely get some answers. You know.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Ooh, to be honest, Avengers 41 was probably my favorite issue this week, just because diving into the Ultimate Comics. Oh, it's so fucking cool to see like iconic characters, but like different. I'm sure you noticed Samuel L. Jackson.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Seeing
still
Miles was cool too.
seeing Miles is awesome. Yeah, you know what blows my mind, and I think we talked about this before. They designed Ultimate Nick Fury before the MCU was a thing, and they like based his design on Samuel L. Jackson, and then they were like, Nick, we want you to play Nick Fury because like look, it's you in the comics. And I'm pretty sure he's a real nerdy dude, so he was like already aware of it.
Mhm.
But yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah, it's like the perfect casting because the comic book character is him.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of the Maker?
He's kind of a dick.
Yeah, yeah.
It, I can't get a read on him. Like, aside from the fact that he's a dick, like,
He's evil. He's not just a dick.
okay.
he's not
straight
a
up
good
evil.
dude. I'm pretty sure they talk about him murdering a city,
Yeah,
and then
they definitely mentioned that.
and then he did that, and he goes, "Well, how many planets did it destroy?" And I think it was like 70 something or something like that. He goes, "Oh, I'm getting too good at this." He just
It's like, oh, thank you, hair asshole.
yeah, dude is not good. Um, I don't know exactly what makes him evil, but he is not a good dude. And now he has the Cabal on his planet because, surprise, surprise, the double incursion that we talked about earlier goes to the Ultimate Universe.
It was crazy how it went from being like a shit ton of incursions left to being less than 2 dozen. I think it said
Right, it was under
double incursions.
22 or something like that are left.
Yeah.
Did they explain why? Was it the double incursions that caused it? I didn't pick that up.
I just assumed it was that. I don't know if that's actually what caused it to be so little amount.
I mean, that's a pretty good assumption. If it's anything, I can't see what else it would be. How about you, Shane? Did you pick up on that? Anything like that, or?
Not fully. I mean, I did get that impression, yes, but not something I can say like 100% like yes, this is it.
Right, right.
I think it was also just a way for them to wind down the amount of incursions they have left before they get to Secret Wars.
Right. You speed things up, but you also raise the stakes.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. It's probably good.
I was honestly more surprised that the Cabal survived. That was what my takeaway from that one was like. Oh, holy shit! But then again, I would have been disappointed had they all just been like nuked away in a single page like that. In all the things that we've read, that has never been something that I've just like expected. That they were just going to be like, okay, here's the bad guy. Great, a page later he's gone. With the
Yeah,
setup that we've been getting, I felt like that would have been really terrible writing.
and that's not what Hickman's about. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, he's very big picture. Everything he does has lasting effects. Um, I would even go as far as saying like there are issues, individual issues that like I did not appreciate when we read them. And then you get like 10 more issues down the line and you're like all of that just made a lot of fucking sense. And like
Mm-hmm.
his run is really good. And there were times where I was thinking this was okay. This is all right. And then I'm seeing a clear picture of everything he put together. Like, no, this is iconic. This is going to be like Marvel stuff that like people are going to be like, oh, remember that from back in the 2010s, that iconic Hickman run. Like this is like comic book history type stuff.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah. I wonder how the last couple issues here are going to shake out. We got to get Doom to where he gets as far as like Secret Wars are concerned. Um, we got to get. I guess the Cabal have to have another confrontation with the Avengers. I don't know if
So they're
Shield
gonna
is.
have to have a confrontation with Ultimate Avengers and all that first, you know.
Yeah, I'm. It's. I probably like it's probably going to come down to those two universes. You know what I mean? Like they're going to have like a couple more incursions. Well, actually, the last thing they said is their incursion won't happen until the last one. They're going to be the last incursion, right? Isn't that what they said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that makes sense. So maybe we'll have some political like stuff for Reed and like Shield type things in the next couple, and then we'll get to some Doom stuff because I feel like Cap's kind of got to make peace, and maybe we'll get some Tony Stark stuff.
I would be curious to see how Tony is handling all of this.
Yeah, and where is he? Because they did go up to his cell and he wasn't there.
That's what got me thinking about that cover, because he legitimately wasn't there.
Right, where is he? He had to have broken out, or maybe somebody broke him out. Maybe there's more to that Spider Woman, Black Widow stuff. Maybe they did do something.
I don't know. They seemed pretty set against getting him out from his attitude.
True.
They did, but something still seems fishy, and I just can't quite figure out what, you know?
Agreed.
It's true. Like when they were asked about it, they completely lied about it. So you know,
Exactly.
there.
And like, she's a spy. Even her secrets have secrets.
Which is a nice line, because I remember hearing that in some of the like MCU stuff. So that was
Yeah, that's why I said it.
it was nice to see one of the origins of it. I did think that was cool. One of the reasons I love doing this is because the more I read, the more I'm like, oh, no, that makes sense now.
I appreciate this. Yeah. Oh well, I don't have much more on these. I think we're kind of beating it over the head here. I think we need more information.
Yeah, definitely. I mean and honestly the first two I really liked. The third one I had no issue with it. I just liked the first two more.
That's fair.
That's funny. I like the first and the third issue. I think more myself.
The Avengers books right now are really hitting good. New Avengers is a little shaky for me unless we see Doom, and then I'm like, Doom.
Doom. Doom, 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 doom. Sorry, it's stuck in my head now.
All right, next week is a double New Avengers. So we got New Avengers 30, Avengers 42, and New Avengers 31. I'm giving you a heads up. Not next week. We only have 3 next week, but the last week before Secret Wars, I had to do 4 to fit it in.
Okay.
So we'll do 3 next week. New Avengers 30, Avengers 42, and a New Avengers 31. But that's going to be it for us tonight. So thanks everybody for listening. If you're having fun with us, subscribe, like, comment, interact, give us comic book ideas. We're getting close to the end of this one, and if we don't hear anything from you guys, we'll have something. We're brainstorming already. So, all right. Again, we're your hosts. I'm Ian.
I'm Al.
And I'm Shane.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.